Hello everyone and welcome to something a little different. Today, we're doing a tier list for every single Elden Ring boss in the game. As of this video coming out, I have finished the game, and I fought most, if not all, the bosses in the game. Now I have not finished editing and releasing every single part and cutting that down and everything, but today we are doing a tier list just to go ahead. So if you don't want spoilers, don't watch this video. Because I'm going to be talking about all the main bosses and most of the mini bosses in the game, because there are a lot of them. Now this isn't, I don't know if this is all of them, because the Deathbird, something like that, there's multiple versions of each one. Like the Deathbirds, there's 3 or 4 of them. So obviously they're not going to put 3 or 4 Deathbirds. But this is about, 13 by 8 plus 1. What's 13? Okay, let me do this in my head. 13 times 8, and I am doing this in my head. Just got to carry the 1, and then drop that down. About 104 plus this one, 105. So, yeah, most of them, if not all of them. And so with the tiers, the first one obviously S, then there's A tier, B tier, C tier, and then the 2 that I created and edited, D, which is the not fun category, which means if a boss just kind of really blows, but they're not low enough to be an F, it's just, it wasn't fun at all. So a very pretty boss fight and a really cool boss fight can be in here if it's just not fun. And then F, which is remove this from the game. Remove this boss because he sucks so much. Basically speaks for itself. But I guess we'll go ahead and get into it. I'll probably show each character a better picture of them, since there's not very many good pictures of them, because it's just their names, which works. There's not very many tier lists out, and I didn't want to have to make one, so I'm glad this one exists. But the first one is Elden, Thief of Fire. Now, I do have this one recorded, fighting him, and there's nothing, I'm going to put him in okay. There's nothing special about him, except for his name is being Elden. I kind of made a lot of jokes about his name being Elden. He wasn't very difficult, I beat him pretty quickly, so he's just okay. Because most of his attacks are just recycled from other bosses. So, the Electo Black Knife Ringleader. Now this is where we're going to start getting fun, because they're not fun. Any Black Knife boss in this game, like the Black Knife Assassins, the Ringleader, whatever, they suck. I hate them. I hate these bosses. I hate Black Knife, the Black Knife characters. They suck. The AI for their dodging is turned up all the way to a 10. So all they do is just dodge and then lunge at you, dodge, lunge at you. So it's, for a melee character, it's so annoying to fight. I would say this guy really sucks and he's just not fun. Next one is the Ancestor Spirit, the Moose Boss. The Deerbot Moose Boss. It's just a big moose. There's 2 of them. I say they're good. I think that's a good one. It's a very cool looking boss. And the way you fight them is really cool, because you have to light fire. It's really weird. But yeah, I mean, it's not a hard fight at all. I mean, I enjoyed it. I liked it. I would fight another one. So I put him in good. And here's where a lot of people are probably going to differ from me. This is the Ancient Dragon Lanciax. Basically, he's okay. Most of the dragons, I don't like the dragon bosses in this game. I don't want to fight. They're just not fun. The first one was cool because it's a dragon. Wow, I've never fought a dragon. Wow, you don't get to fight many dragons in your day-to-day life. So the first one was cool. But then as they kept going, you're like, oh, this is the same boss. And it's just a long fight. It's not that fun. But there's 2 dragon bosses that are different. And this is just the poorer of the 2. So I just put him in okay, because he's got lightning. He throws down lightning bolts like he's Zeus or something. And I think it works, but I didn't, it was okay. Again, with the C tier, just means okay. Doesn't mean it's bad. Doesn't mean it's something that I wouldn't fight again. It's just, it's nothing special. Nothing to write home about. And the next one is Ancient Hero Zamor. This one, I died to quite a couple times. I think this is the first boss that I didn't kill in the first try, out of the ones we've already placed, because this was the first and only boss I tried to parry. And I was pretty successful at some points, and then very unsuccessful at most other points. I learned how to parry with him, and then I never parried anything else ever again. Because that's lame. I don't know. Now, these next two, Estelle Natural Born of the Void, and Estelle Stars of Darkness. They're basically the same boss, so I'm gonna go ahead and put them in not fun. They're very cool looking bosses. They're weird. Their attacks are cool. They look super weird and kind of awesome, kind of pretty, but they suck. For anybody who's melee, it sucks. Hitting their head is horrible, and it takes a long time, and he just eats up your heals. So I'm putting them in not fun. I don't like them. Next one is Battlemage Hughes. It's a wizard. Borealis the Freezing Fog. Now this is another dragon that is way later in the game, in the snow area of the game, in the mountaintops of the giants. And yeah, there's nothing special about him. There's like a fog that comes over and you don't get to see what's in front of you. You just hear like a roar and it says the Freezing Fog. So when I first saw him, I was like, am I gonna fight air? But no, it's just a dragon. So I was very disappointed with that. Alright, finally, we are getting into the bosses I can start putting up higher. Commander Nile. I'm gonna put him in great. He's not hard at all. But his moves, he was just fun to fight. I really enjoyed fighting him. His moveset is, you can see it and you can predict what he's gonna do and dodge it really well, which is why I liked it so much, because just learning how he works is like one of my favorite things about any Souls boss, is that he didn't have any cheap moves. He was just a boss that I just learned how he worked, and I fought him and I beat him. It was fun, and he's kind of one of the main bosses, but he's an optional main boss. But I think he was great. I really did enjoy him. The next one, Commander O'Neill. That one's a good one. Again, they're very similar. This one's in the rot area. He's good. I liked him. Crucible Knight and Crucible Knight Ordovis. The Crucible Knights, they become a common enemy later in the game, so they're just okay. I'm gonna put both the Crucible Knights. At first, they're very difficult, and then later in the game, you can kind of just run behind him and cheese him. It's kind of easy. Again, with that Crucible Knight as well. This is the difficult one because he's early in the game as like a mini boss, so he was very difficult. But then, as you learn and get stronger, they become nothing. Crystallians. These are crystal things, and through the entire game, I used a slash weapon, like a sword or a katana. These things are weak to hammers and blunt objects, and I never did that. So it took me a while to kill them. Because they don't take a lot of damage, so yeah, they're okay. They're okay bosses. Deathrite Bird. He's okay. Yeah, same with the Deathbird. They're creepy, but they're just alright. The Decaying Exikes. This one, if I'm thinking of the right one, this is a massive dragon. However, he doesn't hit you. He doesn't fight back. You can just basically attack him for like 5 minutes, and he just lays there. So it's kind of sad. But if you have bleed, it takes less than a minute. But he just lays there. So it's not a fun boss. It's not, he's just there. Draconic Tree Sentinel. Because it's a Tree Sentinel, I'll put it up in good. No, I'm putting it in not fun. The Draconic Tree Sentinel sucks. Because all he does is spam his lightning attack at you, and his horse spams this fireball he shoots at you. It's so hard to get close to him, but well, I mean, once you get used to it, you just learn to get close to him. So you know what, I'm gonna put him in okay, because later in the game there's another one, and I kind of fight that one pretty well, and it was fine, it was okay. But if it was going off of the first one that you meet, I would put it not fun. Now we're getting to the actual really cool dragon. He's good. I'm not putting him in great. He's still a dragon. But this is a secret dragon, and I didn't record this one because this was after I fought the final boss and finished the game, that I went after all the trophies for the PlayStation. The fight you fight this guy in is absolutely gorgeous. Like, it's one of the most atmospheric fights I've seen in most Souls games. Now, the boss is okay, but just the awe of what's around is absolutely amazing and stunning. And that's what puts him above everything else. Also, he's got 2 heads. And he's got a lot of different attacks. He's not just a normal dragon. So, I'm going to put him in good. This is the best dragon in the game. The Elden Beast. This, spoiler alert, is the final boss, like the final boss. He's an okay boss fight. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. Fighting this beast is stunning. The boss is okay though. There's nothing special about it. He kind of just flies away. But I mean, the music also enhances this boss fight because it's not a bunch of this fast, like battle music with the battle choir or whatever. It's like this really beautiful, like, singing, and it's honestly like breathtaking for a Souls game. But the fight itself is just alright, so I'm gonna put him in good. If the fight was better, I'd probably put him in great, but as of now, it's just good. It's a good fight. I liked it. I really did. Elder Dragon Grail, not fun. The Fire Giant. Fire Giant's a great boss. I really enjoyed the Fire Giant. It really felt like I was accomplishing something, because he's a humongous boss in a super huge and open area, and it's super weird looking, and I died to him a lot, but I eventually got it, and I felt so great about myself. I'm going to put him in great. I like this boss, and a lot of people would probably put him in good or great, but I would stick him in great because I liked him a lot. This is the first dragon. Get him out of here. Get another dragon. But Godfrey, the first Elden Lord. This is actually one of the main bosses. And this is the third to last boss in the game. Kind of the second to last boss if you were to count boss fights. He's alright. I did enjoy him. I put him in good. There's nothing special about him. You can't get more than like one hit on him at a time, so that's just what kind of sucks about him. His second half you can. Second half's kind of goofy. Pharaoh Low or something like that. He looks like a Street Fighter villain. Godric the Grafted is one of the other main bosses in the game. You actually fight Godric in the same No, wait, no you don't. I'm thinking of the wrong guy. Godric's another main boss, but you just kind of fight him at the end of the castle. And this one was a very shocking boss, because the second half, I wasn't expecting it. He cuts off his own arm and stabs it into a dragon head and uses that as a weapon. However, the dragon head comes alive and starts shooting fire. I don't know how that works, don't know how that happens. He's kind of easier. I summoned some players just for fun. I wanted to see how the mechanic worked. Not because I'm a baby. I'm not a baby. I know, I can see you judging me for summoning real players. Yeah, I summoned real players because I thought it'd be fun and goofy. Whatever. This one's good. I enjoyed him. He was cool. He was easier than Margit, which they look almost exactly the same. I still have a problem with the three main bosses you fight in the beginning. It's Margit, Godric, and Margot. I couldn't tell them apart. I can't tell if they're brothers or if they're the same guy, or they're just, it's super weird. They all look the same. Kindred of Rot. These enemies, there are more enemies. I forgot that they're also a boss at one point. I would this is going to be the first F. Remove this from the game. Remove this enemy from the game. Because one, they just run away very easily, but they shoot out like these little things. I don't know what they are. They're just projectiles. But they do so much damage, and it's so difficult to avoid them and hit the boss at the same time. And try not getting hit by the boss at the same time. But the one thing about this boss fight that really had me up in arms is there's not just one of them, there's two of them. And God, if they both shoot their little things at you, you're dead. You're done for. I hate this boss. They suck. Remove it from the game. Worse, horrible. Horrible. Oh man, okay, we're getting in some really good ones for a while. Right here. Malekith the Black Blade. I almost gave up on this guy. So the attempt to kill him was my last attempt on him before I was gonna go to bed, because I'm just so tired and sick of fighting him that I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna do it one more time. If I don't beat him, I'll come back way later in the game. And I beat him. This guy, he's really cool looking. I'm gonna put him in good just because he's so hard. I actually look back on it with remembrance. Lovely remembrance. I kind of like the boss, but I do not ever want to fight it again. And I'm gonna have to, because I'm gonna get the 2 other endings in the game. So I'll have to go through him. This is the one I wanted to get to. I did record this one, and I do have this one. This is Malenia, Goddess of Rot. This is the hardest boss in the entire Elden Ring game. And I would extend that to her being one of the hardest bosses in all of FromSoft history. Because there are some other characters and other, like Orphan in Bloodborne, he's super difficult. And there's a couple in Dark Souls 1, not couple, there's like, Sekiro had some pretty hard ones. I've never played Sekiro, but I've seen people play it, and I know there's some really difficult ones. But Malenia, I died probably upwards to 20 times fighting this boss. I had to summon a mimic. I've seen some people beat her without summoning a mimic. I don't know how they did it. I'm not as good as them, apparently. But I had to summon a mimic, and even then, she was a pain. She was hard. My God, if she isn't a beautiful boss, and fighting her was actually really fun. I never got mad. I really enjoyed the boss fight. She has one mechanic, one little combo that you'll know if you saw it. It's the spinning slash that she does like 10 million slashes in a row. The one thing that makes her very difficult is every time she hits you or hits your mimic, she heals. She literally life steals from you when she hits you. So if she does that spinning attack, she gains like 10% of her health back. And each hit she does, she gets like 5. It's wild. And that doesn't seem like a lot, but if she hits you with that multiple times, and she has 2 entire phases as well. It's not just like one health bar like the fire giant where you get it down to half and then he does the second phase. No, you get her down all the way to the bottom like you would kill with most bosses, and then she gets her full health bar back in a different phase. She is so difficult, and the one reason I'm not putting her in S is because she's got a couple moves that are just plain out, like flat out unavoidable. And I really don't like that with some bosses, because I feel like every boss should have movesets that, even if they're hard, even if the window's very small with avoiding it, you can still avoid it. But this one, I have not seen anybody do a hitless run on her. And I don't know how you would unless you do magic. Necromancer Garrus. I fought this one later in the game, just going through all the bosses. I killed him in one hit, so I don't know. I don't know his movesets. I don't know what his attacks are. I'm guessing he probably summons dead people. I wouldn't know. I jump attacked him and killed him in one hit. Knights Cavalry. Alright, this one's a fun one because I want it removed from the game. This boss, if you are the same, like if you are the right level to fight it, it's stupid. It's on a horse, and I can't, oh, even thinking back on it, I get mad. I cheesed him on accident, by running him through poison caltrops. I didn't know that would kill him immediately, but it did. And I was very happy with that because I was struggling with him a lot. He sucks. And there's a second one that I fought later that I killed pretty fast just because I'm over-leveled. And I'm glad I was over-leveled because he sucks. He sucks. He's horrible. He is the second worst boss in this game. I fully believe that. Erdtree Avatar. Yeah, it's just one of those, but it just gives you rot. So there's nothing bad about it. It's just another Erdtree Avatar. Putrid Grave Warding Duelist. Yeah, this guy's okay. There's nothing special. Again, I killed him in like 4 hits. Putrid Tree Spirit. And here we are. This one I was waiting to do. This is and I'm going to go ahead and put all the tree spirits in here. I don't know if there's any more in here. Let me just look. No, there's not. The tree spirits, I'm gonna be completely honest, I think are the worst boss in all of FromSoft history. Not the easiest, not like the goofiest, not like Pinwheel or something like that. The worst. Like, unopposing anger kind of worst. They suck. They have a lot of health. They don't die quickly. Their moves are stupid. There's 15,000 of them in the game. This was their favorite boss to drop on you.
Another tree spirit. I'm just using a summon, man. I'm so tired of tree spirits. This is literally my 10th one, I think. At least, it's gotta be. It is absolutely gotta be. They really like the tree spirits in this game.
They're the worst. Tree spirits are this is the one boss I actually think they should remove from the game. Like, I hope when they bring out a DLC for this game that they also put in a patch to replace every tree spirit with, God forbid, they replaced every tree spirit with another dragon. I'd be okay with that. I hate tree spirits that much. And this one's Radagon of the Golden Order. This is the second to last boss, or last boss if you consider, once you kill him, you fight the Elden Beast. Where is he? Where's the Elden Beast? You fight the Elden Beast after you kill him, or her, I don't know what it is. But Radagon, I know a lot of people liked Radagon, but this is the one where I think some people will get mad with me. I did not enjoy fighting Radagon. I thought it was a very poorly made boss. I thought it was a very annoying and bad boss because he just had so many moves. Most bosses have one at the most 2 moves that are just BS. Like Melania, she's got that one move, or even like the Fire Giant has one stupid move. The Elden Beast has a crappy move. Godfrey has a crappy move. Malekith has a super crappy move. But most of those you can kind of, like, it doesn't affect the fight too much. But Radagon has more than one. He's got like 4 goofy, stupid moves. And there's a way to cheese him with like an Ice Stomp. But other than that, I hate this boss. I will fully think that I'm so glad the Elden Beast was the final boss, because this was about to be the worst final boss in all of Souls history. Radagon looks cool, but I did not like Radagon. Regal Ancestor Spirit. This one is the other Ancestors. Wait, there's nothing different between these two. They're just the same thing, I think. Yeah, same thing. Renala, Queen of the Full Moon. This one, when I first fought her first half, I was like, this cannot be it. And I was right. There's a second half to her. And the second half is beautiful. It's amazing. And I think I beat her first try. Maybe first or second try. No, I beat her second try. Or she wasn't too difficult. She was kind of easy. She was easy for the main bosses. But I liked her a lot. She was cool. She was magic, but she was cool. I liked her. She was a good boss. I never fought the Rune Bear. I'm just gonna go put the Rune Bear in not fun because most of the bears in this game, not fun. It's a huge bear. See where my little cursor is? That's me to that bear. That's my character to that bear. The Rune Bear sucks. Or I guess just these bears kind of suck. Rykard, Lord of Blasphemy. This one is a gimmick boss. So I'm gonna put it in okay. I struggled with this boss for one reason. They give you a sword in the beginning of the fight that I didn't know you were supposed to use against this boss. So I used a normal sword and I was like, this is one of the most difficult bosses because I do no damage to it. I can't reach it and I can't do anything to it. It's not weak to magic and it's impossible. And then I equipped the sword that they gave me and it does half its health with each swing basically and stuns it. It's a gimmick boss because you're supposed to use the sword. It doesn't work outside of the boss fight the way it does in the boss fight. It like extends like feet in the air. It's crazy. It's a huge sword and then outside of the boss fight it doesn't do anything. And it was just a gimmick boss. That's basically all it was, but I was stumped. I didn't know how to beat it. Fourth to last boss. This is one of the guys that you talk to for most of the game, and I'd say he's good. I killed him pretty quickly. He's just does magic, so with a bleed weapon, he's done for. But he was cool. I love the character himself, and so him being a boss, he was trying to become an Elden Lord as well, alongside of you. And obviously he turned on you and was just like, no. There can never be a tarnished being an Elden Lord. And then, guess who became an Elden Lord? This guy, Tinkle Tom. Radahn, this is the one I wanted to get to. Because, S tier. Radahn is such a fun fight. You basically have to summon other people into the boss fight. Not real players, but a bunch of NPC players, because the lore of it is really cool. They hold a festival in honor of Radahn, because Radahn was a good guy. It's just he was corrupted and cursed with the Scarlet Rot, and so they held a festival in honor of him to defeat him, to basically put him out of his misery, but in the most honorable way, in a huge battle. And I think even Radahn was okay with this fight. Like, he wanted this to happen. And also, there's a couple things about him. He learned gravitational magic just so he could keep riding his itty-bitty horse, because he lost his legs. Because he loved the horse so much. And also, his horse is named Leonard. That's kind of funny. That's kind of goofy. But this is one of the first bosses I think I've seen in almost any game ever, especially the FromSoft games, where it felt like an actual battle. It felt like a war going on with this guy. And his attacks were really cool, and there's this one move that into his second phase that he goes up in the air, and the battle music stops, and you're just looking around like, where did he go? Did he run away? Because there's some dragons in the game that just run away for no reason. They just kind of disappear. And then everything around you looking around in the sky, and if you're not looking in the right direction, everything behind you starts like lighting up, like there's a big light coming towards you, and you turn around and there's just a fireball. He's just blazing through the sky at you like a meteor. It's absolutely insane. It's so hilarious. And when I first fought him and I first saw that, I just didn't move. I was like, oh, he turned into a fireball, and he just crashes into me and it kills me in one shot. It was hilarious and really funny, and I just love the boss. He's one of my favorites in all of FromSoft, and because of that, I want to put Melanie up there because of her difficulty and how much fun she was. So I think these two being an S, these were amazing fights, and I really liked them a lot. This boss is the funniest gimmick boss ever. If someone dies to the Tibia Mariner, they should be laughed at for the rest of their life. It's like if you died to Pinwheel in Dark Souls, because it's just a joke boss put in there just for fun. She's literally on a boat, and she barely hits you. She dies so quickly. It's hilarious. I put her in not fun though, because it's just kind of funny. Tree Sentinel. This one, a lot of people may think I'm really weird for putting it at A, but for this one that they're talking about, I'm putting it in A because of the context of the Tree Sentinel. There's 2 Tree Sentinels that you fight at once, and I don't think I ever killed them. I don't know, I just kind of just ran past them. Because the Tree Sentinel in of itself isn't a crazy cool boss. There's nothing really special about it. He looks cool, like really cool, but it's the fact that it's the first boss that you see out of the tomb that you're in. It's the first enemy, not even the first boss. The first enemy you see happens to just be a boss, and it happens to be difficult enough that there have been people that just give up on the game. But it's the idea that it's the first enemy you come across, especially if you miss the tutorial. It's the first boss in the main Elden Ring story, and that's why I'm putting it A. I'm not gonna put it S just because it's nothing special, but it's the context of this Tree Sentinel. I put it at A. If it was just the enemy itself and no context, it'd probably be over good or even okay, but because of the context, it's gonna be an A. Nah, it's gonna be another one in C. It's just a gargoyle boss. And then Wormface. I forgot this one's a boss, but this one's also okay. There's nothing crazy about it. It just does some like death damage, which is really weird in the game. If the meter fills up, you instantly die, which is kind of funny. But he's not too hard. But that brings us to, this is the completed list. We completed all of them. Let's go ahead and just do that so we get the full look to it. Oh man, you can't even get the full look. There's that many bosses. Alright, okay. There we go. Wow, look at that. I want to move some around though. I want to put Morgott up in gray. No. I want to put, I want to put Dragon Lord Placidosax up into gray just because of how beautiful the boss fight is. And I want to put Godfrey up there, just basically just for the fact that it's Godfrey. I mean, I thought he was the final boss, so I was like, this is a good final boss, and he's pretty solid. So I'm gonna put him in gray just because I liked him. All of these other ones, I have my reasoning for putting them in good, and then obviously most of these are mini bosses, and these are just yeah, and then these horrible. But yeah, I have 2 in S right now. It could change in the future with just how I look back on the game, playing through it again. Nobody's tier list will look the same because there are so many bosses. I think it's completely impossible for everybody's to look the same. I want to see what yours looks like. And if you want to go ahead and go over to Tier Maker, just go ahead and find this. I'm going to link it down in the description below. But if you want to make this for yourself, and take a screenshot or save and download it, send yours over to me on Twitter. I want to see what yours looks like. I'm going to link my Twitter down in the comments below. I usually do. I sometimes tweet and I sometimes say stuff. So I guess follow me on there and send me that if you want to. Because I really want to see what everybody thinks about these bosses. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this and you want to see more like it, and especially more tier lists, because I enjoy making these, because I like being able to just kind of talk and spill out my thoughts about something that I really enjoy to people who will listen, or hopefully listen. If you're still here, I assume you like my content, or want to know. But thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe. It means a lot, and it's free. That being said, I'll see you guys in the next video.